your time in Tokyo been so far? It's coming to an end. You leave tomorrow.
I leave tomorrow night. Yeah, so it's my last evening in Tokyo.
Okay.
After, yeah, it's a bit sad, but it's good, you know.
It's fantastic.
We yeah, everything must come to an end and get back to normal in South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. Some amazing stories though that have come out of it. I mean, I think just being part of that must have been incredibly special.
No, it's look, I've always said that you've got to my job is to capture history. And if you focus on that, you're there to document history. So whether it's Andre winning a gold medal or a marriage proposal on the track, you're there to document history because for your country.
Absolutely. No, man. I think, Roger, more than anything, I said I don't want to take too much of your time. Really, what we are trying to build, I've shared some of that with you, is around building access and access vehicles. So your story in terms of how it is that you've ended up where you are. You come from where you come from. You faced what you faced. You are the age that you are. And I think that there's a direct proportion between that and kind of your lived experience from a professional perspective. I mean, how would you talk about or reference access or lack of access or opportunities that you've had in your experience to get where you are, which is really the top of the pile from a professional perspective? What has access meant for you?
Let me explain it in a scenario. Many years ago at Pentec, Peninsula Technicon, there was some event and Professor Brian Figaji, I think there was some award ceremony and the people were late. And I was telling him where I am in my life and what I've been doing. And he said to me, and these were his words, he said, Rog, you've got to become the wedge to open the door so that others can go through. It's not always that you also go through the door. And those words I will never forget. And that if it means that I presently, and I'm being used to open the door for other young photographers, for other aspirational, creative people, to get onto the world stage, to try and, set the mark, put down, drop the anchor and see where we go. Those are the kind of stuff that if I'm the vehicle, then so be it. And that I've always had that at the back of my mind. But it's also for our children, from where when we come through. And if I mentioned, one of my first talks that I'm going to give is at Excelsior, where I went to high school. It wasn't Excelsior back then, but it was Gala number 2. And my high school is still close to my heart. I'm still involved. I mean, the kids don't know me, but they also don't need to know. But I'm plowing back to my school.
Who are those? I like the analogy of a wedge. So who are those wedges for you if you were fortunate enough to have more than one? But who are those people that open doors? I mean, you referenced Prof. Figaji now. I mean, big.
No, yeah. Who open doors? Sure. People that are kind to me. There's a lot of jealousy in this industry as well. I do not try to be somebody that I'm not. If I'm not okay with it, I mean, my life just turned out to be a sports photographer, but that doesn't mean that's what I stick to. There's still some PR companies, there's still some people. There's a photo agency that have Gala Images. It's got to do with my relationships with Canon South Africa. They all contribute to helping me open the doors. But also you can't make the horse drink the water if they don't want to.
Mm.
So coming back to if I could reach 10% of the people, I lectured at Stellenbosch University in 2017, and there was 23 students. I said, well, if 10% of you learn from me, then I've achieved something.
Mm.
And I think 10% is a realistic achievement. I don't think we should aim higher. Anything else than that is a bonus.
Yeah.
Because the people that are willing to learn those that are going to willing to put in the hours. This, unfortunately, photography is you got to practice, and if you don't know, ask.
Mm.
There's plenty of us in the industry that can assist people that are willing. There's a young guy from Stellenbosch called Alvin Dirksen. He's with Ilana Meyer's group and Nolan Conrad's at Endurocare, producing amazing pictures.
Mm.
And you just got to create an opportunity for some people. You don't have to stand behind them, but you just got to plant the seed. It's not for you to see the tree grow.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we're about. I mean, what I was particularly intrigued by with your story and your trajectory is the fact that you clearly have a very deep technical skill and love and passion for what you do. But we know that doesn't make a career, because there's the environment that you need to create. And I was intrigued by how you, from a sports photography point of view, how you built out that environment around you in terms of technical skill in that arena and certification in that arena too. We just summarize that journey and having that awareness and building it the way you've done.
I was an athlete. For track and field is my first love. I make no bones about it. But being an athlete is only 50%. Knowing the rules is the other 50%. So when I wanted I branched out. When you think your time is up, nothing prevents you from learning the rules of becoming a technical official. So that's how you know the rules. That's how you know the safety aspects of track and field. It's not just about collecting times. Everything is electronic. Stuff has become modern. You don't rely on people with a stopwatch anymore. Everything is electronic, and those are the kind of stuff that same thing with photography. Everything has moved on. We from film to digital, and digital has evolved. And people, I mean, I just had a discussion about an hour ago where we in South Africa, I think we're lagging behind, but that's where I want to grow the little, the infrastructure, because I learn a lot. I steal a lot with my eyes. People want things now. People want things yesterday. And how do you get the pictures out? But not just when people just send me the picture. It doesn't have to be edited. No, it's my name attached to it. So I am not going to send you an unedited image. But that's where teamwork comes in.
Yeah.
So so there's people think, I want to be a photographer, but there's a huge gap for graphic designers and for picture editors that are behind the scenes. So people mustn't just think they want to be a photographer and buy a camera. And a year ago, there's people with huge technical skill sets that is needed in this industry. So there's a gap for young people to go and branch out, to go and study and the technical, the IT side of picture editing. Everything is pixels and noughts and ones.
Yeah.
And there's huge gaps, Craig. There's huge gaps and opportunities for our people.
It's amazing. So you took this technical skill, you added a technical qualification in track and field effectively, so that you could understand more deeply what it's about, and then build up skills in kind of post-production. So
yes,
that's incredibly important.
That's Adobe. Adobe courses. People mustn't look, I want to do a degree. There's nothing preventing people from doing short courses. One of the brilliant, you can do short courses is at my friend Mike Omrod from OMS's Cape Town School of Photography.
Yeah.
You can do short courses there. Learn how to do firstly basic picture editing, but then how to do batch processing. That, you know, the more advanced stuff. Where you do that's what we need now. It's everybody wants to be a photographer, but everybody wants to do the editing. I get very upset, Craig. I'm honest with you. It's just my thing. Because you're never gonna find my pictures over edited. What I shoot is I shoot. Everything is shot in manual. It's not shot with program mode, or those that understand what I'm talking about. It's you got to know your camera, you got to know your lighting, you got to know. My table is all in my head based on what I learned in film, so it's all in my head. But you know, with like wedding photography, oh, I love the sunset. Meantime, there's all filters and things that has been added to the pictures, and that upsets me. But because I tell people, the last wedding I ever did, I only do weddings, and just close my emails. The last wedding I did was Robin Adams' wedding. Robin Adams, I didn't remember him from Italy.
Yes.
I told him and Leanne, you want me to do a wedding? You're not gonna get these funny filters. No. That's what they want. That's what they want. So that you know, stuff like that. It's you shoot it properly because that saves time. But that to shoot it properly, you got to practice, unfortunately.
So I'm a kid. I think I have an eye. I'm shooting with my iPhone, or I have a starter kind of set up and so on. You've now given me a lead in terms of OMS and the Cape Town School of Photography. What is that first short course I should do, and what's the approximate cost? What would you say, more or less?
No, look at OMS. You can look ctsp.co.za. The prices are online. Yeah. I'm not saying go there, but I'm using you know, I'm punting it because it's and you can do it part-time, or you can do it in the evenings.
Yes.
Where you know, so you're not bound to working hours. The other thing is it's I would recommend people to first do graphic design or the IT side of photography before they go and do the photography side of things. I would do it reverse, because once you understand the IT side of photography, the rest is easy.
Yes.
Because then you know what you're looking for.
Absolutely. Roger, you don't have much time. Your
No, I do. You want to go ask me one more question? I do have more time.
Your vision. Where do you wanna take this? You've done well personally, professionally. You are a global brand. What's the vision? What's the next step for you in all of this from an access point of view?
I would like to start a foundation for people, not, you know, people say for underprivileged children. I don't want to focus. I have a definitive focus.
Yes.
It must be open to everybody, where we can have a school program geared for people to learn life skills. Photography is one of the means. It's opened doors to the world. It's for me, but there's something that you've got to come back to South Africa, and we've got to branch out and nurture the next generation. The next generation, you know, maybe 20s, 30s, up to 60s. I don't know, but if you can add value to add value to the product, add value to the clients, and I think that's the main goal, is to add value. At the same time, learning new things. Just, you know, if you're just being at the Olympics, if you're looking Olympics, World Championships, agencies get the pictures, but people must also remember agencies get the best photo positions.
Yes.
So where you are left with, no, let me not say the crumbs, but you got less of an advantageous photo position. So you're going to make the best of your position. Because remember, they're not getting your pictures, your angles. So how do you use your angle that you have, which is not very good, but you want to make it, you want to use it for your, you know. So those are the kind of things that you learn as you grow. But I would love to impart that knowledge to young people so that they can learn. Using a phone is great. Let's start with a phone. It doesn't have to be a camera, but as long as you know what, you know, people say, oh, look at the these pictures are great, but you have no idea the processor in the phone that creates that picture, but you have no control over. So where I come in is where you have control over of the effect that you want.
I mean, you know, we live in this time now where we're so connected and we can multitask. I mean, you were saying earlier, let me turn off my emails here, because on our devices, we do more than one thing. Our phones are cameras, they supercomputers in a sense, and all of that. And so I, while you were speaking now and you mentioned Cape Town School of Photography, I went online. I was listening, I promise, but we are able to multitask. I went online and there's a course, online introduction to photography.
Just go do it.
And yeah, absolutely. And so what I'm saying now, I'm going to make an announcement here, Roger. GrowZA will sponsor somebody to go onto that course. And then let's take exactly what it is that we're saying here and let's like bring it to life. But I'm going to ask something from Roger Sedres, right? We must now figure out how to judge who's going to go. So maybe we should brainstorm something, not even on this call, but have photo submissions, put out some kind of brief.
No.
Okay, tell me.
No photos.
Okay.
A 3-paragraph essay.
Yes.
Why you want to go on that course.
Awesome.
And I might just email it to you. Without you need to know nothing about photography. But what we want, you're not going to waste your time, and you're not going to waste our time. If this is what you want, it mustn't be a passion, it must be a passion with a capital P.
Yes.
And then we can go on to the monetization and stuff like that of photography. But but thank you for that. And let people email.
Yes.
I wouldn't say a 2-paragraph, I say a 3-paragraph and tell us exactly why you would like to go on this course. And I'll speak to Jason.
Roger,
and I'll speak to Jason.
That'll be amazing. That'll be amazing. So you're the head judge. I'll package it. I'll share everything with you.
That's fine. That's fine.
We'll cover the tuition fees and get all of that done. But if we can then have that conversation with Orms as well and see where we can take it. It's time for us to put money where our mouths are. And we talk about passion, but you say with a capital P. So that requires that.
But Masan, I don't know what to do. Maybe I'll do that. No. Yeah. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. I was in standard 7, grade 9. And this man wasn't even my teacher. This is at Excelsior. And he said to me, his name is Mr. Calvin Johannes. He's not in teaching anymore. He's into tour busing. He said, Sedres, jy gaan nog eendag 'n fotograaf word. I'll never forget those words.
Sure.
But that only manifests itself in 1991.
Yeah.
You see, so it's not always that it's going to happen tomorrow.
Yeah.
But somebody planted a seed, and that's how the seed grows. And if we can plant a seed in somebody's life, but it's up to them. You got to work at it. You got to water that plant. It's not. Let's open our hands and wait for it to fall into our hands.
Absolutely. Roger, you are an ambassador. You are a role model. I'm sure much nicer things have been said about you, but thank you very much for just being open. I also maybe just want to say that the way you and I connected was that I saw you on ENCA, and that interview kind of hit me at a particular frequency, and then just hit you up online. And I think that's how opportunities and connections happen too.
Correct. Life today is about relationships. Not what you can get out of somebody.
Yeah.
Not what you can get out of somebody, but also pay tribute or give recognition to people that have helped you along the way. Also, people like I posted today on Facebook a picture of a man called Neil Turner who assisted me. when I was down. I wouldn't say, almost out. This was in London when I was dealt a really bad hand at the Olympics, and told me what to do, how to get a ticket to get to the swimming, so that I could photograph Chad Leclos beating Michael Phelps that night. And that's a well-publicized picture. I got to say thank you to him yesterday here in Tokyo after 9 years. He had no clue. But that's how it works. So relationships is very important. Even if it's just on Facebook and you just connect and we just do a Skype call, everybody's doing Zoom calls and things like that. But it's very important to maintain relationships. Some people will fall by the wayside. It's just the way life is. You do fall on gravel roads and things like that. But let's get up and carry on. That's what I had to do. I had to fall many times. Trust me, it's not something that just fell into my lap and off I ran with it. There's been many hard knocks, and especially during COVID, there was no work, and all of a sudden, boom, all of these events have rocked up. That's a story for another day. But the 5th of July will always be indelible in my mind.
Yes.
Of how it all came together. That 3 big events. I'm tired, but honestly, we'll rest up and we'll carry on again. We carry on with the fight.
Tell us about your schedule for the past, let's say, 3 months. What's it look like?
It's been, I'm going to tell you now. I must be honest with you. I was going to cancel my accreditation for the Olympics and the Paralympics. And I was hesitant. And then I got an email from a friend of mine in Canada, and he asked me, Roger, are you going to the Olympics? I said, I'd like to go, but there's no clients. He said, well, so he put me in touch. So I went to the Olympics for Athletics Canada, not for South Africa. Okay, that's, one can read between the lines, regardless. I went for Gallo, Team South Africa for Gallo Images. And then I went to, from there, I returned to Johannesburg, and then I went to Kenya for the World Athletics Junior Championships under 20s. And from there back to Tokyo for the Paralympics. So there's been no rest. You're only as good as your last picture. And that is how I live. You cannot produce happy snaps nonsense. You've got to do it properly and well thought through and thought out methodologies of how you're going to produce those images. Your start list, like if I must tell you, people ask, well, what you doing now for the last 2 days? I'm sitting editing the rest of my pictures, and yes, my start list from the Paralympics that I'm going through. I've still got to go back and edit most of the World Juniors and the Olympics as well. So for the rest of September, it's busy. But that's what we got to do, Craig. It's not just shooting, packing up and going.
Yeah.
We don't have that luxury of having picture editors sitting all over the world where you can just pull pictures and edit and, pack. As soon as the event's done, pack up your gear and off you go, and people go have a beer afterwards.
Yeah.
Now I'm still sitting editing, and that's the work,
Yeah.
because that's where the money is. It's otherwise, if the pictures can't sit in a hard drive, then it's worth nothing to anybody.
No, absolutely. Roger, I'm very excited. I'm excited for your foundation. I'm excited for the seeds that you planted and what you want to grow. The talks that are coming up for you, and I think some other stuff that we've spoken about as well, which maybe we'll leave.
Yeah.
But I think it's great that we can make a start and give an opportunity to someone who has a passion for photography and that can start that journey. So yeah, I'm gonna thank you very, very much. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything you just want to say?
No, I just want to say thank you to you and for the airtime. You know, it's the people like you and businesses like yours, Greg, that helps us also grow. You know, it's not just the one. This is not a one-way street. This is let's call it dual carriageway, where you know, and you grow and so can we. And but thank you for the opportunity of being on your show. It's I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for that prophecy. It's not a show yet, but
No, it is a show. It is a show. Claim it.
we go. And just interesting conversations. And I think that's what's so powerful about these networks. As we pull things and as we do things together, it just attracts the right people and we head in the right direction.
Correct.
That's all we're trying to do as GrowZA. Just put the right people in the room and magic happens.
That's right. Look at also one of the major things is also getting funding and access to funding. That's amazing. I mean, you're talking about just one lens. It's 11,000 euros, man.
Yeah.
You know, those are the big numbers. So, but that's a story for another day. But let's grab somebody with a phone and let's see what they can do.
Absolutely.
And I'll put you in touch with Jason, and you guys can sort something out.
Go from there. Roger, thanks so much. Sleep well and travel safe. See you back home.
Thank you so much. Yeah, see you back home.
You're well, man.
Cheers, Craig. Cheers, Craig. Bye.